Hey lovely sexy hobby people, welcome to today's video, which is going to be the review for issue 32, Warhammer Combat Patrol. We get two paints in this. We get Uruk Flesh and Reichland Flesh Shade. I don't use Uruk Flesh so much, but Reichland Flesh Shade, always handy to have a supply of that. So come and join me on the desk and we'll have a look through. Hey lovelies. Right, issue 32, Warhammer Combat Patrol. Two paints. Uruk Flesh and Reichland Flesh Shade. Okay, put those aside, file that appropriately. Let's get into it, shall we? How to paint, updating your models. So we are going to be using the Reichland Flesh Shade to shade our gold areas. Oh, come on, GW, what is going on with you? Almost every delivery, I have at least one or two where this happens. Right, so Reichland Flesh Shade being used a lot, Corax White, and Abaddon Black being put into certain areas like hair here, before Reichland Flesh Shade is put on over the top. Okay, let's just do the honours with these things. Is anybody else having this problem? Let me know in the comments, because this has been a real issue with this collection. Right, okay, better. So, here we go. Yeah, so they're putting like Corax White on for hair and Corax and Abaddon Black for hair for those models that are unhelmeted. And then other bits and pieces. It seems that that's as far as they're taking it, and all the models that you've used that on. Long War. Over many thousands of years, the galaxy has felt the malice of the Chaos Space Marines, who see their battles as part of a single long war against their enemies. Though their actions are not centrally coordinated, they nonetheless see each of them as part of the effort to win the victory that ought to have been theirs so long ago. So this is the carry-on from the Horus Heresy in M31. And those Chaos Space Marines, those legions that turned against the Emperor and humanity after the Great Crusade, have continued to fight the Imperium of Man. So Vengeance writ large. There's a few notable dates here. Date M32, the demon Primarch Perturabo conducts a sacrilegious ritual, cursing Forge Word Toil and causing its mechanical creations to twist into demon-possessed horrors. M35, the World Eaters invade the industrial world of Iriad 4. The Ebon Knights mount a defence and the fighting is so brutal that only a handful of either force survives. Date M41. Through the work of Chaos Forces, the galaxy is split asunder by the Cicatrix Maledictum. The enemies of Chaos are cut off from their allies and a new Age of Terror dawns. So, talking about traitor legions here, we've got the Alpha Legion. What's that? That's the 19th Legion, isn't it? Alpha Legion? Or the 20th. Might be the 20th. Word Bearers, Iron Warriors and Night Lords. Bonds of Honour, which is part 8 for our Silver Skulls story. And then we're into core rules for the shooting phase. So select an eligible unit, select targets, make ranged attacks, and repeat for next eligible unit. Talks about lone operative here. Making ranged attacks, locked in combats, who can shoot if you're in combat or not in combat. And then Strands of Fate. Strands of Fate is a special ability that allows you to use your Farseer's predictions to influence the course of a battle. Before the battle, your Farseer scries the future for knowledge of events to come. This is represented in the game by your Fate dice. These are used to influence the outcome of certain actions. So there's 7 rolls here, 7 such things. You can use Fate dice for any of the following types of dice roll. If a dice roll requires 2d6, such as a charge roll, only 1 Fate dice can be used. The remaining dice must be rolled as normal. See next page for details. But it's got advanced roll, battle shock test, charge roll, damage roll, hit roll, saving throw, and wound roll. So, before the battle begins, the player rolls 12 dice. If they are not happy with the results, they can re-roll with 11 dice. If they continue re-rolling, they can continue re-rolling if they choose, but they must roll 1 less dice each time. Fate dice for a d6 roll. When using a Fate dice on the d6 roll, you must declare that you are doing this before making the roll. You cannot decide to do this after making a roll. For example, the Farseer is in combat with Tyranid Prime. They substitute the dice for a Fate dice, guaranteeing a hit, and they then remove that dice that they used from the Fate pool. Right, okay, so this is your pool. So once you roll, those are your Fate dice, okay? But if you aren't happy with the result of those Fate dice, you can re-roll them. But every time you re-roll your Fate dice to try and get a better result, you take 1 away. So that from 12 it goes to 11. If you don't like the results, then you can roll again, but it goes down to 10. That's then your pool of Fate dice, which you can then expend. Fate dice for a 2d6 roll. When using Fate dice on a 2d6 roll, you can substitute a maximum of 1 dice for a Fate dice. Other dice is rolled as normal. In this example, the Wind Riders are attempting to charge. The player uses a Fate dice, a 6 Fate dice, as one of the d6 rolls, and the other Fate dice rolling as normal. The 6 is then removed from the Fate dice pool. So, with the charge roll, say you wanted, because we're operating on this, okay, you want to make that roll. There's a chance that you could roll like 2 1s. So you try and give yourself the best chance. So what you do is you take one of those dice away and you replace it with the 6 that you've already rolled in your Fate dice pile, basically. You then only roll 1 dice, and there's hopefully a better chance that you'll get a higher roll, giving you the distance that you would need to charge into combat. That's the way I see it anyway. Combat Patrol tutorial, Strands of Fate. So it looks like we've got a tutorial rather than a scenario. Strands of Fate is an Eldari faction ability. It allows you to use the foresight of your Farseer to predict the future events. Before the start of the battle, you generate predetermined outcomes of dice rolls. You can then apply these as needed as the battle unfolds. So example scenario, battle round 2. They've already given you 12 Fate dice, and these are the results. And then basically you're going to do a playthrough, turn by turn, using the Fate dice, giving you examples of how to use them. And there you go. Right, and the next 2 issues, 33, 34, are our Legionaries. Let's have a look at our paints. Now, Uruk Flesh I haven't really used. I don't like this pale colour for Orc Flesh. I much prefer a darker green as the main base colour, and then just use something like this as an extreme highlight on the muscles. But yeah, I don't know. I don't like those beast snagger dudes where they're more yellowy green than like a dark green. I'm not keen on their aesthetic. But Reichland Flesh Shade, glad I've got another one of these, always handy. Definitely one to just keep in the stash pile for when I run out. I don't do a lot of I don't do a lot of bear heads unless I really can't get away with it. So I don't tend to use a lot of this for flesh tones, but I do tend to use it sometimes if I want to stain a material. So this and, for example, Seraphim Sepia, I'll quite often use on cloaks if they're kind of like a bone white colour. I'll use it on, sometimes I use it on gold and brass as well to shade that. If I want something slightly more subtle than the standard Agrax Earth shade. But there you go, those are the two colours that are included with this week's Combat Patrol. I hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you in the next video. Alright, take care, bye bye.